South Boston, or Southie as it is known, it's not just a place to live, it's a place to explore. So whether you're new to Boston or just visiting, know that South Boston has some of the most iconic, Instagram-worthy, and locally loved spots in all the cities. So in today's video, we're going to do a top destination tour, map-based, of South Boston, so you know where to go, eat, relax, and really enjoy South Boston or Southie to its fullest. So I'll show you must-see landmarks, outdoor hangouts, beaches, my favorite food and coffee shops, and some local gems that only the locals from the neighborhood know. So let's start pulling up the map and start learning about South Boston. Hey everyone, I'm Mike O'Brien. I'm a Boston real estate agent and your local guide today through South Boston or Southie. And if you're curious about what makes this neighborhood such a great place to live, this video is for you. So we're going to do a virtual map tour of some of the best places to go in Southie. And trust me, this neighborhood is packed with community, character, and coastline, maybe most importantly. So let's start exploring Southie block by block. All right, let's start to get into Southie. We start off by showing you where Southie is, or South Boston. Listen, we're going to go back and forth between South Boston and Southie, just in terms of terminology. You hear a lot. But here's Boston. And as we start to zoom on in, you see the red outline of South Boston. Unsurprisingly, to the south of Boston, right? And so we talked about this in other videos. This is the South End over here, right next door. South End is its own thing. South Boston is its own thing over here. And so not to be confused. South End, this is South End, South Boston, Southie, or South Boston and Southie. Now you have the seaport right here. To the south, you have Dorchester and Roxbury, and really Boston extends all the way down to here. So it goes pretty far south, and kind of right in the midsection of Boston is South Boston, ironically enough. So you see right on Boston Harbor, you have all this coastline, you have all this beach line. And pretty stacked up here. We'll take you through the real estate a little bit as well. But you start to see the green space. You start to see that, unlike a lot of Boston, Southie actually has the grid-like system, which is nice, and numbered streets and alphabetical streets. So unlike some other sections, especially downtown Boston, where there is seemingly no rhyme or reason, Southie does have some order to it, which is nice. But let's start to get into the green space here. Let's start off the very eastern tip of South Boston. We go to Fort Independence. So this is a historic fort, armory, cannons were there during many a war back during the earlier times of America. And so let's see if we can get a little 3D look here. So you can definitely go down here, take a historic tour, check out Fort Independence. You start to see what a wonderful green space it is. You have the Harbor Walk that not only goes around Fort Independence, and let's take a look at some of the other tours, but you have other areas. Rather, you have the fishing pier here. You have the Sailing Center, Harry McDonough. You have Castle Island Playground. So really a great place to come with the families, the kids, yourselves, whoever. Just enjoy some time in the green space. Enjoy a picnic, enjoy a walk. So just to scroll out a little bit, I mean, you can hang out here and watch the planes take off and land from Logan Airport. That's a thing that people do for sure. And if you wanted to, and I do like that Fort Independence has so many memorials, and I do love the history of it. I just didn't want to go without mentioning that. But you do have the Harbor Walk here. And this goes all the way around, maybe scroll out, make it a little bit easier. And so you can just basically make an entire loop around the beach and Pleasure Bay and Fort Independence if you like. And by the way, one of the reasons this area in South Boston is so appealing is because you have all this beach and all this coastline. I mean, you are just a walk away from the beach if you're living in South Boston. Maybe if you're on the western side or northern side, you need to take the car and maybe take a ride share. But again, it is all right here. And you just see a ton of people out on the beach here during the summer and winter, summer and warmer months, not winter months, and rightfully so, right? So not only do you have Fort Independence, super fun and just active green space spot, but you also have the playing fields over here at Evans Field. You have Marine Park as well. You have, let's scroll on in. You got the water park playground right there. And listen, if you need to take a break from the heat, go go to the skating rink here as well. So down the way, we just continue along. You have M Street Beach, appropriately named because it's right off of, well, M Street and N Street for that matter. L Street Beach, you have the community center here. And these are some of the cleanest urban beaches in Boston. So great for swimming, great for, grabbing a tan. Listen, my last name's O'Brien. I'm limited in what I can do in terms of getting a tan. It's going to be a burn, let's be honest, but you do a jog along the Harbor Walk, which again still extends all the way down this way. And so a lot of young urban professional kids coming down to L Street and M Street Beach during the summer months. And again, it just continues along with the streets, I Street Beach. And as you come all the way around, you start to get to South Boston Park. You have all the playing fields here. I played tennis a couple times at Joe Moakley Park here in the tennis courts. And then here you have Carson Beach. And you do have some volleyball. You can't see them, but you do have some volleyball courts down here. And the outdoor track in Saunders Field as well. So that gets to really the border of South Boston or Southie here. But again, all this coastline. And again, just a little pro tip, you can use the Harbor Walk to stroll all the way from Castle Island down towards and through Carson Beach. Oh, by the way, quick little note, have to go back to Fort Independence because let's see if I can scroll in here. I might not be able to. Let's see if I can get there we go. Not the greatest picture, but a great place to grab a hot dog or some soft serve, some ice cream, fried seafood, maybe with some fried clams, what have you. But as you're going to Fort Independence or the Harbor Walk, you want to grab a dog, grab some ice cream, what have you, a little snack. Sullivan's, great place to go. Oh, by the way, another pro tip, if you're heading to Castle Island, if you're heading to Fort Independence, make sure you Google Castle Island parking because it can get very busy. This is still very much a little bit of an industrial area, as you can see. I mean, the seaport is right there, and it is still very much a shipping port and a port area of Boston for sure. Also, to note real quick, want to come to the eastern side of the city before we get into the city. But if I take off, just know that you have quite the train hub, Amtrak hubs right here. And so a lot of train tracks. So if you are on the western section or western side of South Boston, you might be dealing with some train noise there. So again, just to give you a heads up. Now, the major thoroughfare through Southie is Broadway. And you see it's broken up into sections here between West Broadway and East Broadway. I'm going to start to take you down Broadway a little bit just because some of my favorite spots, and Broadway goes on for a long time, but some of my favorite spots are on Broadway. And let's see. Yeah, so I have to go a little bit further down. So we'll head back towards the city, only because I want to show you not this truck, I swear, but let's see if we can get beyond the trucks. There we go. Fox and the Knife. This is one of my favorite places I've eaten in South Boston. So actually sat outside right here. A great menu and just a great meal. So make sure you check out Fox and Knife. And let's start to go down Broadway a little bit because Broadway is really, again, not only the major thoroughfare, but this is where you're going to find the majority of dining, shopping, coffee, coffee shops. It's kind of Broadway is where it's at. Also, I do need to show you this restaurant as well. Amrine's, great schnitzel. So just to give you a quick aside. Now, for those of us who have, or those of you who have kind of been on the other tours in and around Boston neighborhoods, you're not going to see the brownstones like you see in Back Bay or even the South End. What you're getting here are a lot of apartment buildings, a lot of conversions. You will see some double deckers and triple deckers, but it's really about the apartment and the condo game in South Boston. So, and you're seeing a lot of development in South Boston, as you've seen really in a lot of neighborhoods in Boston. But again, there's not really going to be a section here of South Boston where you're not going to just see buildings and developments like this. So as we continue down West, and I think you can start to see that a lot of the development and a lot of the renovation has been recent. And some of it is still very much as it has been for a long time in South Boston, Southie. So we're getting to the end of West Broadway here and starting to work our way towards East Broadway, which once you cross Dorchester Ave, or Dorchester Street, I should say, that's when you get to East Broadway. Now I'm trying to find, and I think we just did, Loco, Taqueria and Oyster Bar, and great, great tacos here, and just great Mexican food in general. So as you're coming up Broadway, make sure you check out Loco. Definitely one of my favorites. Also, I'm always seemingly be at this Cafe Nero grabbing a coffee. So just one of those things. Good spot, spacious. Also, the Lincoln Tavern bears mentioning. So yes, very much comfort food, craft cocktails, good spot as well. So we continue. Capo, Italian food, live music as well. Good lounge in there. So again, Broadway has a lot of things covered for you as well. So now we've crossed Dorchester and now we get into East Broadway. Stats, that is a bar that South Boston residents definitely familiar with. I'll let you explore that on your own. But yeah, I got a lot of what you're looking for in terms of bars, restaurants, shopping is going to be on West Broadway. So, and that's some fun architecture here. And now, kind of away a little bit from the apartment and condo buildings. And now you start to see a little bit more of the triple deckers that have been converted. That's some really nice architecture there. So yeah, just give you a little bit of a sense. And you still have some of that old school Boston architecture in South Boston as well. I don't want to make you think it's all recent and new developments and new buildings. No, you still have some of that historic and old school charm as well. But again, you can literally see the development and the renovation as we just go down the street here. So anyway, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of sense. Let's see. I just want to tuck back here into a little bit of side street to see if we can see. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a lot of what you're getting in South Boston. Again, you can tell new developments, new renovation, conversions, but then still very much double deckers, duplexes, side by sides, new development, so on and so forth. So depending, I mean, you can find condos in South Boston for, as low as $300,000, $400,000. They can definitely get into the high six figures. And for the really, really nice ones, you can break into the $1 million range. But there's definitely there's definitely more opportunity, I think, at affordable price points in South Boston compared to some other neighborhoods. So let's get back out here a little bit. All right, let's get back out here for a moment because I want to take you back down onto Broadway. And I don't know why Taco Bell is it's not like I go to Taco Bell, but they're always popping up on my Google Maps. But just to show you real quick, it is near Taco Bell and across from Lincoln Tavern restaurant, but you start to see a tent. So I think it's June through October on Mondays. This is where you can find a little bit of farmers market. So again, you start to see a little bit here, but just know that 446 West Broadway in front of the municipal lot, you can go to the farmers market. Again, seasonal uh, vendors, local produce, pastries, flowers, seafood, all those good things, community events as well. So this is where you can find one of your local farmers markets in South Boston. Now, want to get back out to a little bit of the green space as well. Because as you head down East Broadway, you do get to Medal of Honor Park. Again, just another nice green space here. You have the playing fields, Christopher Lee Playground. Again, another beautiful memorial here as well. And you got the playground at Medal of Honor Park. So again, a good place for a good green space, good place to hang out, stroll, have a picnic, just enjoy the outdoor time. So between Medal of Honor Park and also Moakley Park, and of course you got Evans Park and Pleasure Bay and Castle Island. I mean, you were well covered in South Boston for sure. Now, a little bit of a tip and a little bit of a cheat by me because one of the good spots to go from Southie that is technically not in Southie is the Lawn on D. And it's called the Lawn on D because it is right off of D Street. So this is technically Seaport, right behind the Boston Convention Center. But just to scroll in, again, a good green space. People from Southie are making their way over to the Lawn on D. You can see you got the pickleball courts. You have the chess sets over here. You might be able to see, yeah, you can see the cornhole sets here. Some benches, picnic tables, just a fun place to hang out. It's got glowing swings, lawn games, food trucks, live music, great place for, again, what, you want to go there with your family, you want to go there on the first date, you want to hang out after work. Again, just a 10-minute walk from the west side of Southie and a great hangout spot during the warmer months. So again, not technically in, well, it's not nothing technical about it. It's not in Southie, it's in the Seaport, but still a place you'll see a lot of Southie people. All right, sorry to be jumping around a little bit, but when I get back down to Broadway, just to show you the South Boston Library, or as it's known, the South Boston branch of the public. South Boston branch of the Boston Public Library. That was a mouthful, but not only your local library, but hub for locals. It's got reading rooms, quiet reading rooms, free events, community programs. And so in case you want to know where your local library is in Southie, there it is. So a little side. So again, as we're going down Broadway, just wanted to make sure, or as we came back to Broadway, want to make sure you saw that. As it's also right next to the Playwright, which is definitely a fantastic pub in South Boston. So maybe you want to grab a book over at the library, bring it over to the Playwright, pony up, have a bite, have a beverage. And the Playwright, being next to the library, I mean, a little on the nose, but it works. All right, let's pull back out from Broadway. Just speaking of Broadway, I want to talk to you a little about the transportation options in South Boston and Southeast. So in terms of the T, you got two spots. And so the red line is what takes you through Southie. And so you have your Andrew station stop, and then as you just go up here, you're going to have your basically your Broadway stop. Where you at? So yeah, so you have Andrew's stop, and then if you go down a little bit, and it's not showing me right now, but there it is. So there's your Broadway stop. Red line will get you into Boston. You can also use the red line to get you to the lawn on D that we just showed you. So over here if you want to. Otherwise, get you downtown quick ride. So if you live in Boston, you don't drive, or you live in Southie and you need to get to Boston, you don't drive, this is probably the way you're going to get there. Now, if you do live on the eastern side of Southie, catching that red line, maybe, the majority, or getting to the red line, maybe the majority of your commute. But again, just to give you what the T options look like in Southie for you. So I want to scroll back out a little bit now that you know how to get to and from Southie, courtesy of the T. I want to show you some hidden gems, some local favorites. So in terms of sushi, great spot right off George Chester Street, Fat Baby. So just as it is described, funky Pan-Asian fare in a trendy dining room with geisha murals plus sake tipples at the cocktail bar. But at the end of the day, just great food. I don't think you're going to be able to get a good view from the street, but we'll give it a try. Little man. Yeah, I didn't think so. So trust me when I say it's tucked back there. Also, want to take you back out and show you another one of my favorites. So if you continue down, there's Stats Grill. We talked about that earlier. And there's Taco Bell again. There's Lincoln Tavern. But Publico is a place I've been to more than a couple times. Right here. So good pizzas, good cocktails, good outdoor seating. And they have a fun kind of like little room in the middle where the roof opens up. So kind of goes a little bit further. So it's got a retractable roof. So again, when it's not raining, when it's warm out, they were nice out, they open up the roof. And so let's see if there's any pictures of that I can show you real quick. So no. They don't have it. But trust me when I say there's a cool little room in the middle with a retractable roof. Yeah, so this starts to be it. And so yeah, this is the middle part, and a roof up top opens up. So trust me on that one. Also, if you want to get kind of the South Boston tavern, pub, bar vibe, like I'm talking, Goodwill Hunting a little bit, that kind of vibe. I hope I'm not dating myself too much on that one. But you definitely want to check out the L Street Tavern. Let's see if we can get down there a little bit. And Southie, by the way, it is where the St. Patrick's Day Parade happens. So it is a big to-do in Boston, obviously known for its Irish heritage. So the Southie Parade, as it is called, is definitely a thing. And so there's the L Street Tavern. Also, if you go back down East 8th Street, you will come. Let's see if I can make this trip a little bit quicker. So yes, if you go back down East 8th Street, you will come to the Shamrock Pub. So if you want to get a little bit of feel of Southie and what it has to offer when it comes to the old Irish pubs, definitely hit up one of those two. And so let's get back out. A couple other spots I want to show you real quick. Alfredo's Italian Kitchen for sure. The L Street Diner, the Broadway, which actually, ironically enough, we didn't get far enough down Broadway to see the Broadway. But there you go. So, New American Restaurant. Again, just good eats, good drinks, good times. And so, yeah, Broadway, we talked about already. So many great places to grab a bite, hang out. And so, just a few of the favorites. Oh, I forgot about Local 149. Hold on, let me get down there. And I appreciate you sticking with me through all these different spots. And so almost as you get to Fort Independence, again, good local pub. So as we come from Local 49, just want to get one last overhead view of South Boston. And again, show you everything that has to offer between the green spaces, the beach, the housing, the restaurants, the bars, the place to hang out. And this is South Boston. So as you can see, South Boston is so much more than just a neighborhood. It's a lifestyle, it's a vibe, it's all the things. So now you have the map and the information to explore Southie like a local. But if you're thinking about moving to South Boston, or maybe you just want a tour in real life, I'd love to help out. You can DM me on Instagram at Mike O'Brien Homes. You can email me directly at mikeobrienhomes@gmail.com. I'd love to help you find your place in South Boston. Now, if you want more Boston map tours or you want more neighborhood tours, hit that like button, subscribe, and you can watch my full video playlist right here. In the meantime, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time, and we'll see you in Southie.